Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to you about something deeply important. We often talk about how to gain respect, but it's equally important to recognize what makes us lose it. There are habits, subtle at first, that can strip away the honor, dignity, and respect we deserve. These habits, left unchecked, can destroy relationships, tarnish reputations, and hinder our ability to lead and influence others. Let me share with you 4 destructive habits that will earn you disrespect if you don't confront them. Or keep our word. When our actions don't align with our promises, people quickly lose faith in us. Without integrity, you can never hold on to respect. Integrity isn't just about avoiding lies. It's about consistently showing up as someone who can be trusted, no matter the circumstance. When you walk in integrity, people may not always agree with you, but they will always respect you. But lose integrity and disrespect will follow like a shadow. One of the fastest ways to lose respect is to adopt a judgmental spirit. We all have opinions, but constantly criticizing others, looking down on people, and failing to show grace in their moments of weakness isolates you. People won't trust or respect someone who cannot extend understanding. They'll begin to distance themselves from you. Instead of being a beacon of wisdom, you become a wall others can't scale. Respect is built on empathy, not judgment. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have. When we show up late, when we fail to honor commitments, or when we waste others' time with trivial matters, we communicate one thing: that we don't value them. Disrespecting time is disrespecting the person. It's a silent message that their schedule, their energy, and their attention are not important to you. This behavior breeds frustration and quickly leads to loss of respect. Honor people by honoring their time. There's a reason gossip destroys friendships and organizations alike. When we speak ill of others behind their backs, we send a clear message to everyone listening: I can't be trusted. If you talk about someone in their absence, those around you will wonder what you say about them when they're not present. Gossip doesn't just erode the reputation of the person you're discussing, it erodes your own character. And where there is no character, there can be no respect. In conclusion, respect is not something we are owed, it's something we earn every day by the way we live. Habits like a lack of integrity, being judgmental, disrespecting time, and gossiping may seem small in the moment, but they carry a great cost. If we desire to be people of influence, people of value, then we must guard our hearts, our actions, and our words carefully. Because in doing so, we not only keep the respect of others, we keep our own self-respect intact. Integrity is the foundation upon which trust and respect are built. It is not just about telling the truth or being honest when it's convenient. It is about living a life where your word is unshakable, where what you say aligns with what you do. People are drawn to those whose actions speak louder than their promises. When you consistently show up, follow through on commitments, and live by a moral compass that others can rely on, you become a person of influence and respect. But when integrity is lacking, it's like a crack in the foundation of a house. Over time, that crack widens, and eventually the entire structure collapses. If you say one thing and do another, if you make promises you have no intention of keeping, or if you bend the truth to suit your own needs, you may temporarily gain an advantage. But in the long run, people will lose faith in you. Respect is not something that can survive without trust. Once people begin to doubt your word, they will question your motives, your actions, and even your character. Living with integrity means being the same person in the light as you are in the dark. It's about standing firm in your principles, even when no one is watching or when it's difficult. In moments of temptation, when shortcuts seem appealing or dishonesty seems easy, your integrity should be your guiding force. It's the knowledge that true respect is earned not through charm or charisma, but through consistency and dependability. When people observe that you are someone who honors your commitments, whether in personal relationships, professional endeavors, or everyday interactions, they will naturally respect you. You don't have to demand it, you simply live in such a way that people see your value. But if you allow cracks in your integrity, if you betray trust or act in ways that are inconsistent, disrespect will inevitably follow. Because when you fail to honor your word, you fail to honor yourself. And that loss of self-respect is reflected in how others treat you. When we adopt a judgmental attitude, we push others away without even realizing it. It's easy to fall into the trap of constantly critiquing or pointing out the flaws in others, but doing so damages relationships and fosters an environment of distrust and resentment. People naturally shy away from those who make them feel small, inferior, or always under scrutiny. Respect is not something that thrives in an atmosphere of constant judgment. It grows in a space of empathy and understanding. A judgmental person is often quick to form opinions without truly understanding the circumstances or the person involved. Instead of seeking to understand, they focus on what's wrong, and in doing so, they miss the opportunity to connect on a deeper level. When you approach life with this mindset, you signal to others that you are more interested in their faults than in their potential. People begin to see you as someone who isn't open to understanding them, and over time, they will pull back emotionally, mentally, and sometimes even physically. The truth is, everyone is fighting battles we often know nothing about. No one is perfect, and we all have areas of growth. When we judge others harshly, we lose sight of our own imperfections. Being judgmental blinds us to the humanity in others. It creates a barrier, a wall between us and them, making it difficult to build meaningful, respectful connections. Judgment comes from a place of arrogance, a belief that we are somehow better or more righteous than others. But that sense of superiority is false, and it undermines the very respect we seek to maintain. Respect is born from the ability to see others as they are, to accept them with their strengths and weaknesses, and to extend grace where it is needed. People respect those who are fair and compassionate, those who offer understanding rather than condemnation. But when you stand in judgment, people see you as someone who lacks empathy, someone who is quick to point out their shortcomings but slow to offer support. And that lack of empathy erodes respect over time. Rather than being judgmental, practice being curious. Ask questions, seek to understand, and give people the benefit of the doubt. This approach not only builds respect, but also deepens relationships. When people feel safe to be themselves without fear of judgment, they will open up, trust you, and respect you more for your open-heartedness. But if you persist in being critical and judgmental, you will find yourself alone, isolated, and lacking the respect you so desire. Time is one of the most precious gifts we can give or receive, yet it is often taken for granted. When we disrespect someone's time, we send a subtle message that their priorities, their commitments, and their life are less important than ours. It's not always about showing up late, though that certainly plays a role. It's also about failing to value the moments others set aside for us. Whether it's wasting time in meetings, being unprepared, or not following through on commitments, disregarding someone's time can quickly erode respect. In our fast-paced world, time is a commodity that cannot be replenished. Once it's gone forever. When you show up late, you rob others of their time they could have used for something else, time they will never get back. You may think it's a small thing to be 5 or 10 minutes late, but over time, these small acts accumulate and convey a lack of consideration. Punctuality is not just about being on time, it's about respecting the value of others and acknowledging that their time is as important as your own. Beyond being on time, respecting someone's time also means being intentional and purposeful in your interactions. If you've arranged a meeting or made a promise, it's essential to come prepared and to make the most of that engagement. People will respect you when they see that you are mindful of their schedules and that you don't waste their time with unnecessary delays or distractions. Conversely, when you drag things out, engage in frivolous conversations that don't add value, or fail to complete tasks in a timely manner, people begin to lose patience and respect. Respecting time also means understanding boundaries. We all have limited hours in the day, and it's important to honor those limits by not overstepping or expecting more than what someone can reasonably give. When we ask others to do more than what time allows, we put unnecessary pressure on them, showing disregard for their own responsibilities. Respect thrives in environments where people feel that their time is being honored and their boundaries are being respected. When you respect time, both yours and others are, you demonstrate professionalism, discipline, and consideration. People appreciate and respect those who are mindful of the limited time we all have. But when time is disrespected, relationships begin to suffer. People will start to perceive you as unreliable, disorganized, or worse, indifferent to their needs. Over time, this will lead to a loss of trust and respect, as people won't feel valued or respected by you. Honoring time is about showing others that you care enough to prioritize them to be present when you said you would be, and to make every moment count. Those who fail to respect time not only lose respect from others, but also miss out on opportunities for deeper, more meaningful connections. Listening is one of the most powerful ways to show respect, yet it is often undervalued. When we fail to listen to others, we send a clear message that their words, their thoughts, and their presence are not important to us. In conversations, we may be physically present, but if our minds are elsewhere thinking about what we'll say next or distracted by something unrelated, we're not truly engaging with the person in front of us. This lack of attention erodes the connection and ultimately leads to a breakdown in respect. One of the biggest mistakes we can make is assuming that hearing someone is the same as listening to them. Hearing is passive, but listening is an active process. It requires focus, empathy, and the willingness to understand not just the words being spoken, but the emotions and intentions behind them. When you truly listen to someone, you acknowledge their value. You show them that what they have to say matters. But when you interrupt, talk over them, or appear distracted, it shows that you're more concerned with your own thoughts than with theirs. Failing to listen also limits your own growth and understanding. Every person you encounter has something valuable to share, whether it's knowledge, a new perspective, or an insight into their own experiences. When you neglect to listen, you miss out on these opportunities for connection and learning. Over time, people will notice that you aren't truly present in conversations, and they'll begin to lose respect for you. They may even stop engaging with you altogether, knowing that their words fall on deaf ears. Moreover, poor listening can lead to misunderstandings, miscommunication, and unnecessary conflict. When you don't fully listen, you may miss key points, misinterpret what was said, or make assumptions that lead to confusion. This not only frustrates others, but also creates a sense of disconnect. People will begin to view you as someone who doesn't care enough to pay attention, and respect will naturally diminish. Being a good listener isn't just about being quiet while the other person speaks. It's about engaging with what they're saying. It means asking questions to clarify, nodding to show understanding, and responding thoughtfully. When people feel heard, they feel respected, valued, and understood. On the other hand, when you dismiss or ignore their words, you undermine that respect, and they will begin to view you as someone who doesn't value them. Respect is reciprocal. If you want to be respected, you must first show respect. And one of the simplest yet most impactful ways to do this is by becoming an attentive listener. In a world where everyone wants to be heard, those who take the time to listen stand out as individuals of depth and integrity. But if you neglect this fundamental skill, you risk being seen as self-centered, disconnected, and disrespectful. Negativity and complaining can slowly but surely drain the energy out of any environment, whether it's a workplace, a home, or a relationship. Constantly focusing on what's wrong, what's lacking, or what's unfair doesn't just affect your own mindset, it impacts those around you. When people encounter someone who is persistently negative, they begin to distance themselves both mentally and emotionally, because negativity is contagious and exhausting. Over time, this habit can earn you disrespect because it makes you difficult to be around. Complaining rarely brings solutions. Instead, it amplifies problems and reinforces a sense of helplessness. When someone complains frequently, it creates an impression that they are unwilling to take responsibility for their situation or to look for constructive ways to improve it. People start to see you as someone who points out problems without offering solutions, and that attitude can diminish your credibility and influence. Instead of being seen as someone who can rise above challenges, you become associated with the very obstacles you keep talking about. Negativity also blinds you to opportunities. When you constantly dwell on what's wrong, you fail to recognize what's right, what's possible, and what can be achieved. This not only affects your own progress, but also influences those around you. People respect those who can see the silver lining, who acknowledge challenges but focus on not overcoming them. On the other hand, when negativity and complaining become your default response, it signals to others that you are stuck in a mindset that refuses to move forward. This lack of forward thinking ultimately erodes respect. Moreover, being negative or constantly complaining creates an emotional burden for others. People will begin to avoid sharing their successes, joys, or even their struggles with you because they anticipate that your response will be more about finding faults than offering support. Negativity has a way of making others feel invalidated, as if their perspectives or experiences are not worthy of optimism. Over time, this alienates people and diminishes your ability to form strong, respectful connections. In contrast, those who carry a positive attitude, even in difficult circumstances, are often the ones who inspire and uplift others. People gravitate toward positivity because it brings hope, solutions, and strength. When you choose to focus on what can be done rather than what cannot, or when you express gratitude instead of discontent, you demonstrate resilience, adaptability, and emotional intelligence, qualities that naturally earn respect. While we all face difficulties, challenges, and frustrations, how we handle them defines the level of respect we command. Those who complain without taking action, or who focus on the negative without recognizing the positive, ultimately push people away and diminish their own influence. By shifting your mindset from one of complaint to one of constructive action, you open the door to stronger relationships, more opportunities, and deeper respect from those around you. Lack of accountability is one of the most damaging habits to both personal and professional relationships. When someone avoids responsibility for their actions, choices, or mistakes, it signals a lack of maturity and integrity. Accountability means owning up to your role in any situation, whether the outcome is positive or negative. People lose respect for those who consistently deflect blame, make excuses, or point fingers at others because it shows a refusal to grow, learn, or take responsibility. When things go wrong, it can be tempting to shift the blame onto external factors, circumstances, other people, or even bad luck. While this may provide temporary relief from the discomfort of admitting fault, it ultimately weakens your character in the eyes of others. People respect those who are willing to say, I made a mistake, or this is my responsibility. Taking ownership not only demonstrates integrity, but also shows that you are committed to improving and learning from the situation. Without accountability, you present yourself as unreliable and untrustworthy because no one knows if you will stand by your word or abandon responsibility when things get tough. A lack of accountability also disrupts teamwork and collaboration. In group settings, everyone relies on each other to fulfill their roles. When one person fails to take responsibility for their actions, it places an unfair burden on others and creates frustration and resentment. People quickly lose respect for those who don't pull their weight or who fail to acknowledge their mistakes. The result is a breakdown in trust, which is essential for any productive relationship, whether in a workplace, a friendship, or a family. Moreover, failing to be accountable stunts personal growth. Accountability is a necessary part of learning and self-improvement. When you refuse to acknowledge your mistakes or shortcomings, you deny yourself the opportunity to learn from them. Growth comes from recognizing where you've fallen short and taking steps to do better next time. Without this process, you remain stagnant, and others will see you as someone who lacks the humility and self-awareness to evolve. People respect those who are willing to admit their faults and work toward improvement, not those who pretend to be infallible. On the other hand, embracing accountability builds credibility and respect. When you consistently own your actions, whether they lead to success or failure, people see you as reliable and trustworthy. They know that you will stand by your commitments, and even when things go wrong, you'll be there to face the consequences and find solutions. Accountability is a sign of strength, not weakness. It takes courage to admit when you're wrong or when you've fallen short, but that courage earns the respect and trust of those around you. Ultimately, avoiding accountability may seem like an easy way out in the moment, but it leads to a loss of respect and trust in the long run. People will distance themselves from those who cannot take responsibility for their actions because they know that such individuals cannot be relied upon when it matters most. By owning your decisions and actions, you demonstrate integrity, foster trust, and build the foundation for respect. Gossiping is one of the quickest ways to destroy trust and damage your reputation. When you engage in gossip, you not only harm the person you are talking about, but you also reveal something significant about your own character. People who gossip are seen as untrustworthy because they have shown that they are willing to speak negatively about others behind their backs. If you gossip about someone else, it's only natural for others to wonder what you might say about them when they are not around. This kind of behavior breeds suspicion and distrust, causing people to lose respect for you. At its core, gossip is often driven by insecurity or a desire to feel superior by highlighting the flaws or misfortunes of others. It may provide a momentary sense of power, but that feeling comes at a high cost. Engaging in gossip erodes relationships because it creates an atmosphere of negativity and division. People may pretend to listen or engage in gossip themselves, but deep down they know that such conversations are harmful. They may continue to interact with you on a surface level, but they will be cautious withholding their trust, because they fear that anything they say could be twisted or used against them later. Furthermore, gossiping reflects poorly on your ability to handle conflict or challenges maturely. Instead of addressing issues directly or seeking solutions, gossiping involves spreading rumors or complaints in a way that only worsens the situation. This behavior shows a lack of emotional intelligence and maturity, making others question whether you can be trusted in more serious matters. People respect those who are able to communicate openly and honestly, not those who hide behind whispers and backhanded comments. Another harmful consequence of gossip is that it often distorts the truth. When stories are passed from person to person to person, details are exaggerated or taken out of context, leading to misunderstandings and false accusations. This can cause unnecessary conflict, harm reputations, and create drama where none existed. Even if you didn't start the gossip, being a participant in the conversation makes you complicit in spreading misinformation, which diminishes your credibility. Respect is built on the foundation of trust, and gossiping undermines that foundation. People want to feel safe in their interactions, knowing that what they share with you will stay with you, and that you won't use their vulnerabilities or mistakes against them later. When you resist the urge to gossip, you demonstrate integrity and loyalty, qualities that naturally earn respect. You show that you are someone who values others, that you can be trusted to handle sensitive information responsibly, and that you won't exploit others' difficulties for personal gain. Choosing not to gossip requires discipline and self-awareness. It means being mindful of the conversations you engage in and the impact your words have on others. It means refusing to speak negatively about someone when they're not present and redirecting conversations that veer into harmful territory. This level of self-control earns you respect because it shows that you are mature enough to rise above petty behavior and focus on what truly matters, building positive, meaningful relationships. In contrast, those who indulge in gossip find that over time their circle of influence shrinks. People may avoid confiding in them and they may lose opportunities for deeper connections because they are perceived as divisive rather than trustworthy. While gossiping may feel satisfying in the moment, the long-term consequences are detrimental to your reputation, relationships, and the respect others have for you. Inconsistent behavior undermines trust and respect because people are never sure what to expect from you. When your actions and attitudes change unpredictably, it creates confusion and uncertainty in those around you. They begin to question your reliability, your intentions, and your values. Consistency is crucial in building relationships because it establishes a sense of stability. People respect and trust those who are dependable, who show up with the same level of commitment and character regardless of the situation. However, when you act inconsistently, it sends a signal that you cannot be counted on, leading to a breakdown in trust. Inconsistent behavior often reflects a lack of clear values or failure to stand by your principles. If you behave one way in certain situations and completely differently in others, people start to wonder who you really are and what you truly stand for. For example, if you are kind and respectful to someone when others are watching but dismissive or rude when no one is around, your character comes into question. People quickly lose respect for those who shift their behavior based on convenience, as it shows a lack of authenticity and integrity. This inconsistency can also manifest in promises and commitments. If you frequently make promises but fail to keep them, or if you change your mind and actions without explanation, others will find it difficult to trust your word. Whether in personal relationships or professional settings, keeping commitments is a key part of earning and maintaining respect. When your behavior fluctuates without reason, it causes frustration and disappointment. Over time, people will stop relying on you as they cannot be sure whether you will follow through. Another aspect of inconsistent behavior is how you handle pressure or adversity. If you are calm and composed in good times but reactive and unreliable in difficult moments, it can reveal an underlying lack of emotional stability. People respect those who can maintain their composure and integrity no matter the circumstances. Inconsistent reactions, especially during challenging times, signal that you may not have the resilience or self-control to manage responsibilities or relationships effectively. Inconsistent behavior can also damage your leadership or influence. Whether leading a team, a family, or a community, people look to you for guidance and stability. When your behavior is unpredictable, it becomes difficult for others to follow your direction or trust your judgment. Leaders who change their stance or decisions without clear communication lose credibility because people need consistency to feel confident in their leader's vision and competence. To earn and maintain respect, consistency must be a core part of who you are. It means aligning your words with your actions, standing by your principles, and being reliable in all situations. Consistency doesn't mean perfection, but it does mean being accountable when you fall short and striving to be dependable. When people see that you are consistent in your behavior, whether in times of ease or challenge, they feel secure in trusting you, and respect will naturally follow. On the other hand, inconsistent behavior leaves people feeling uncertain and cautious. It diminishes your influence because people are unsure of how you will respond or whether they can trust your word. In the long run, inconsistency breeds frustration and disconnection, leading to a loss of respect. By being steady in your actions and true to your principles, you demonstrate the reliability and integrity that form the foundation of respect. Entitlement and arrogance are two attitudes that quickly repel respect and admiration. When someone acts entitled, they behave as though they are owed something, whether it's special treatment, success, or respect itself, without putting in the necessary effort. This sense of entitlement is often rooted in the belief that they are somehow above others or deserve privileges simply because of who they are, not because of what they have done. Arrogance, on the other hand, is the exaggerated sense of one's own importance or abilities. Both attitudes suggest a lack of humility and an overestimation of self-worth, which alienates others. People respect those who work hard, contribute meaningfully, and show humility in their achievements. When you act entitled, however, it signals that you expect rewards without effort or recognition without merit. This attitude can frustrate and alienate those around you because it shows a lack of understanding of the value of hard work and cooperation. Entitlement leads others to see you as self-centered, someone who believes the rules don't apply to them, and then this mindset quickly erodes any respect that may have been earned through previous actions. Arrogance takes this sense of entitlement even further by projecting a superior attitude that disregards others' opinions, contributions, or worth. An arrogant person often dismisses feedback, assumes they are always right, and downplays the efforts of others. This behavior stifles collaboration and communication because it shuts down the possibility of learning or growing from others. Arrogance not only makes people feel belittled or undervalued, but also reveals an unwillingness to acknowledge one's own limitations or need for improvement. Over time, this attitude pushes people away and creates an environment where respect is lost. One of the key issues with entitlement and arrogance is that they mask insecurity. Often, those who act entitled or arrogant do so as a way to cover up their fears of inadequacy or their need for validation. They demand respect without realizing that true respect must be earned through humility, contribution, and character. Instead of working to prove their worth, they expect others to simply recognize it, and when that recognition doesn't come, they become frustrated or resentful. This cycle not only damages relationships, but also hinders personal growth. Humility, by contrast, is a powerful trait that draws respect naturally. When you acknowledge your own limitations, show appreciation for others' contributions, and recognize that you are part of something bigger than yourself, people are more inclined to respect and support you. Humility allows you to learn from others, grow through challenges, and develop deeper connections because it shows that you value others' perspectives and efforts. Those who act entitled and arrogant fail to realize that respect cannot be forced. It is given freely by others when they see qualities like fairness, humility, and integrity. When you demand respect without embodying these qualities, people will resist giving it to you, and instead you may be met with avoidance or resentment. No one respects someone who expects everything while giving little in return, or who assumes superiority without demonstrating true leadership or wisdom. In the end, entitlement and arrogance lead to isolation. People may tolerate these behaviors for a time, but over the long term, they will distance themselves from someone who consistently acts self-serving or superior. To build real, lasting respect, you must replace entitlement with gratitude and arrogance with humility. By appreciating what you have, recognizing the value in others, and understanding that respect is earned through consistent, honorable behavior, you open the door to stronger relationships and a deeper sense of respect from those around you. In conclusion, the habits we cultivate in our interactions with others significantly shape the level of respect we receive in return. By acknowledging and addressing behaviors such as a lack of integrity, being judgmental, disrespecting time, poor listening skills, negativity and complaining, lack of accountability, gossiping, inconsistent behavior, and the attitudes of entitlement and arrogance, we can transform our relationships and foster an environment of mutual respect and understanding. Respect is not simply given, it is earned through our actions and choices. It thrives in an atmosphere of honesty, empathy, reliability, and humility. When we choose to hold ourselves accountable, listen actively, respect others' time, and practice kindness rather than negativity, we build stronger connections that enrich our lives and the lives of those around us. As we move forward, let us strive to embody the qualities that draw respect and admiration. Let us be the individuals who uplift others, approach challenges with integrity, and recognize the power of our words and actions. By doing so, we not only enhance our relationships, but also create a legacy of respect that inspires and empowers those we encounter. Ultimately, we hold the power to shape how we are perceived and how we relate to others. Embrace the opportunity to cultivate respect in every interaction and watch as it transforms not just your own life, but the lives of everyone around you. Thank you.